your business as well. But of course, I want to welcome everybody to the call. Excited to see everyone, all of you guys on the call today with so much happening in this month already. I can't believe it's already September 19th, and there's only literally just about, let's take a look here. Just only 11 more days left in this month of September. And right after this month, it's already gonna be October. And starting October, of course, October goes to 31 days. And we have the Macau Convention coming up, which is only now 42 days away from the Macau Convention, which is the first Asia Pacific Convention as well. And I know many of you are participating in the Asia Convention as well. And I'm letting all of you know that the leaders that actually work hard now for the next 42 days and they prepare well for Macau Convention are going to have a huge growth and a huge 5x 10x factor after the Macau Convention. And you're going to see it. You're going to see that. You're going to see people that prepared well for this Macau Convention, that brought a good amount of people. They got their teams ready. They were prepared early and they brought a lot of people. And you're going to see after the October 31st, November 2nd convention, you're going to see some teams exponentially grow on a different level. And I want all of you that are on this call right now to make sure that all of you are prepared for that as well, which of course is coming up October 31st and of course to November 2nd. Even though we're 42 days away, that's not a lot of time, and I truly believe that preparation, when preparation meets opportunity, that's where you get the best value for your business. That's where you get the biggest growth for your business. And obviously, the Macau Convention, which is the first Asia Pacific convention, that's going to be the biggest convention and the first one we're going to have for Asia. So, obviously, all of you want to prepare for that these next 42 days. And of course, we'll talk about how to prepare for that these next 42 days as well. Of course, every one of you that are, of course, based in the stateside as well, you guys have teams in the US, you have teams in other countries as well. Understand that if you're based in North America, of course, you're going to be participating in the Asia Convention as well. Maybe some of you are not, but if you're local here in North America and you don't have any business outside of North America, also understand that right now as the holiday season approaches, right, which is going to be, end of, November and December and Thanksgiving and December and Christmas and all this holiday season coming, if, and Black Friday, which of course there's going to be a lot of specials, new announcements, and we're going to be reminding me doing a lot of things, right, these next few months, because you guys know that holiday season is when people start buying things, they start shopping. And if you want to also take advantage of this upcoming holiday season, what do you want to do, right? What do you want to do now to then as well? Which of course we want to prepare you for that because, as all the holidays are coming, we don't want you to miss out. We don't want you to miss out on all the volume and all the sales that's gonna be taking place these next 30 to 45 days as well, right? So that's another thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about today as well, so that all of you guys are prepared on how to actually do well in this industry and of course this business as well. But of course, let's talk about first on, obviously you guys know that we have, of course, an upcoming tour, right? We have the upcoming tour right now with, multiple locations, right? We have one tomorrow, which is happening in Orange County and Laguna Hills. We have about 50 people confirmed for tomorrow's event in Laguna in Orange County. If you guys still have some people, give them a call today. Give them a call today, not just a text, give them a call. See if you have some people in California that you could invite them for the Laguna Orange County event tomorrow. Myself and some local leaders will be there. We're going to have, of course, the products, a lot of snacks and, drinks and whatnot to have a nice little good fun event in Orange County, California. So you want to invite for that, which is happening tomorrow at 10:30 when arrival time. We're going to start at 11 a.m. and end at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so that's happening, of course, tomorrow for everyone that has people in the United States. Also, we're going to be, of course, going out to Singapore. Okay, we have a Singapore, scheduled a few pop-ups in Singapore. So, we're going to have one actually on the September 26th. It's going to be at the JW Marriott Singapore in South Beach. We're going to have a pop-up event from 1 to 3 p.m. at the JW Marriott Singapore in South Beach. on the 26th at 1 to 3 p.m. And also we might have a second event 7 to 9 p.m. on the same day as well on the 26th. On the 27th, we have what's called a special leadership training in Malaysia with Mr. Danny Bay. It's going to be for senior managers and higher. So if you are in Malaysia or Singapore, and if you have people in your contacts or your partners that are, maybe planners right now, encourage them to become a senior manager, because we will have that special training on that event on the 27th at the House of Malaysia in office with Mr. Danny Bay. I'll be there as well. I'm going to be doing a segment of the training as well that day as well. So you want to get as many people to that upcoming special leadership training as well. Understand that having a lot of leaders at these type of events is how you grow your business. Okay. Remember, events build your business. Okay. So we have the Malaysia event. Right after that, I'm going to be flying that same day back to Singapore, because on the 28th, we have another pop-up at the JW Marriott again, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the JW Marriott. I'm going to send out the details, the address, the time, all the information for those pop-up dates as well. After the Singapore event, we have, of course, going to be going to the Philippines. I'm sure many of you, of course, are participating in the Philippines. October 1st is going to be the opening ceremony for the Philippines. We're going to have, obviously, for senior managers and higher at the Makati office. The link to register for senior managers and higher will be coming out soon. I believe the Shangri-La event has been completely sold out now. 1,300 people, seated seats is all full right now. So I believe the link for October 1st Philippines will be shared as well. Also, October 2nd, we're going to have, of course, if you have people in the Philippines that are just planners, make sure this month they finish senior manager this month and get as many people to qualify, of course, for the event on October 1st. Okay, October 2nd and October 3rd, we have training schedules and pop-up schedules and orientation schedules at the Philippines office as well. So if you have people October 2nd and 3rd, make sure you guys have people plug into that. We will have, of course, registration links on that as well. We were waiting for the Shangri-La event to be fully sold out to now open up the registration link for the other three events. So we will send that link out as well to register for the Philippines event. Of course, we have the October 5th Shangri-La Makati event, which is going to be a huge event. 1,300, probably almost 1,500 people there as well. If you have people in the Philippines, and they're coming, make sure they're inviting even more people today, because you always have last minute cancellations. After Philippines, I'm going to be going into Japan, where we're going to be doing our first, Japan Tokyo event, pop-up event at the Marriott in Tokyo, in the heart of Tokyo. So I'm going to be sending out the information for the Tokyo Marriott event. Going to be going down to Osaka as well. And Osaka, we're going to be doing an event over at the Westin. We'll be sharing details about the Westin address, information for the Westin pop-up as well. And then obviously you guys know that we have UK coming up, right? UK is coming up. I know a lot of you are going to be participating with United Kingdom. Understand with UK, registration has not been started yet, okay? Next week on the 23rd, we will have a website for Europe, and the website will just give you guys all the details on the European website. But in terms of product pricing, all the information for UK will be there next week on the 23rd. But actual registration doesn't start until the following month, okay? So we'll have details on that as well. I'll show you guys a timeline. And of course, after UK, obviously, there's a lot's gonna be happening in UK. We're gonna have the House of Riemann, opening up on the House of Riemann for October 17th at the House of Riemann. And then let's maybe just take a quick look here. Sorry about that. House of Riemann, let's see here. House of Riemann UK is on the 17th. Yeah, 17th is the House of Riemann UK, and the 19th is the hotel event with 13 to 1,500 people. So we have a lot of space for the UK event. So you want to invite as many people as possible for the London event. Everyone that I'm talking to right now, I just had a few calls with Italy, people from Italy. I had people call from Ireland as well, and I'm literally inviting everybody to the UK event so that they can see the big vision for Europe at the UK event. It's not, understand that UK opening is not just a UK launch. it's the European launch, right? So if you have people in Europe, make sure they come down to London in UK for the grand opening event on the 19th. I'm getting as many leaders and people down to that event so they can see the bigger vision and they can start getting ready for their own country as well. So of course that's happening in the UK, and of course I'll be also in Korea for a few meetings, and then afterwards, all roads lead to, of course, to the Macau Hong Kong convention as well, which of course we're all super excited about. But let's talk about a little bit of training stuff now for all of us that are here right now, and of course I want to first talk about preparation, okay? Preparation before the K pop-ups, okay? I know many of you right now are brand new, and many of you just joined Riemann just recently as well, and maybe you haven't done a K-pop yet, right? Or maybe you've been with us and you're wondering, okay, there's all these events happening. What do I have to do? What do I need to do? And how can I really maximize and grow my business, right? Well, the first thing you want to work on, of course, is your list, okay? You got to have a list, right? You have to have a list. If you have people that are coming to Malaysia or Singapore or Philippines or US markets or whichever market is, you should have a list. You should have a Malaysia list or Singapore list or US list, and you should write down where your contacts are, where your people are, and you got to actually have a personal invitation for them to they can come to the pop-up, right? Obviously, we have a event tomorrow. People have been inviting for tomorrow. We're going to have all these upcoming events happening in all these countries, right? You want to have a list of people that you could talk to, invite, and not just copy and paste, but actually make it a personal invitation about what you're doing, that you want to invite them to share with them about what you're getting involved with and what you're so excited about. And, of course, send them the invitation flyer and always remind them they could bring a friend. And this standard, you could use it for your future pop-up as well when you guys have your own events later down the road. I'm just giving you guys like a blueprint of what I would do and what I've been doing in the past that's been working, okay? Always remember one thing, guys. 50% of your confirmed guests don't show up. They have obviously some excuses, some things show up, they can't make it, and guess what happens? They don't show up. So even you may think that you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 confirmations, remember, always go with 50% of the number because that's going to be always the right number. So always over promote and over invite so you have more people at the event as well. And remember, remind people 24 hours before the pop-up, before the event, before the upcoming events, remind them, because remember, people don't have great memories. So you got to remind them, you got to be diligent about, hey, tomorrow 7 p.m., tomorrow 6 p.m., tomorrow 11:30 p.m. You got to be diligent about reminders and reminders and make sure your guests and your people show up, okay? And also make sure that when you do have a pop-up and when you're getting ready for a pop-up, when you have, make sure your display is set up nicely, you have tester tables, you have a mirror, product sheets, and all that is already prepared before the event, okay? Now, during at the K-pop preparation, you also want to have, of course, have products, right? I recommend, for every 5 guests that you have at least one EX set, okay? If there's obviously 20 guests coming, you don't want 20 people sharing only one set, okay? It's gonna take them forever to use the products, right? So if you have 20 guests, have at least 4 sets available, okay? And at the same time, have all product lines available for display, because sometimes people want to try out other items. They might love the Botolab better. They might like the hair care better. It doesn't matter what, you just want to have every item available, which shows the extensiveness and credibility of our product line and shows how extensive we are, just not only in skincare, but also in the nutrition side, as well as the makeup side, as well as the hair care and body care side as well. And at the same time, always have additional sets available at the event. I see this a common mistake for a lot of people where they have maybe only 2 or 3 sets available, and then a lot of guests come and a lot of guests say, "Hey, I just used the products. I want to buy a set right now." If you do not have a set available and you're going to lose a sale. You're going to lose a sale. A lot of people don't want to wait for shipping. They don't want to wait for 5, 6, 7 days of shipping and wait for products to arrive. If you don't have it, you may lose a sale. That's why it's important to have additional sets available so you can make the transaction on the spot, whether they pay you with you cash or they pay you through bank transfer, whatever the case may be. Always have extra products available. Remember, you are in the business to sell products. You want to have it ready to go, okay? Also, K pop-up tools, right? What do you need? Well, number one, of course, you guys need to get headbands, right? Headbands you can order online, and obviously they're used to when they're washing their face. Foam makers, you could buy those online as well. Obviously people use the powder foam to put in the foam makers, which is part of the experience of Riemann as well. Using the powder foam, and actually that foaming up and then putting on their face, that's an experience that people love to see with Riemann. Before Riemann, I'd never even seen a foam maker in my entire life. I'd never even heard about that before. But, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like people see these kind of things and they're like, wow, that's so cool that it foams up. You can put it into your face. You take pictures and selfies. And that enjoyment and experience is all part of a good K pop-up, okay? Obviously, you want to have towels to them dry their face. Table mirrors, of course, when they're washing their face on the table so they can see themselves washing their face. Spatulas for the dermatology creams. And of course, once again, brochures and printouts available in booklets so that people can actually read about it and look through it as well. Remember, even though you may not be a big reader and you don't care too much about documents, other people are so into documents and printouts. Now, there's some people that are so into documents and printouts that forget about the other things. Remember, you want to make sure that you are catering to all people, right? That if someone's more of a reader, let them read. If someone's more of a speaker and a conversation person, cater to them as well. You want to cater to all types of people, not just one type of people, okay? So make sure you have all this, guys. The preparation of this is super important, that you have your list, you have your guests. You want to make sure you're inviting, you want to make sure you have people coming, you want to make sure you're packing out the room and making, more people there, the bigger the excitement is, right? A lot of people there, guess what? It's going to duplicate now, bigger now, because why? They see a lot of people, they're like, wow, let me do my K-pop up. Let me bring a lot of people too. But if I come to my pop-up with only one or two people, now I think like, hey, if this is the way that it goes, my pop-up, I'll invite one or two people. Remember, the more people you invite, the better it is. And you want to be diligent about inviting, and over-inviting, over-reminding, getting people there. And of course, having all the preparation, the products, of course, the tools all set up as well. Okay. So obviously we have all these events coming up. All of you guys, of course, should be focusing on getting your list up, getting your head count up, getting guests to as many events and places as possible so that you guys can get them connected to myself or whoever is going to be there so they can experience the whole K pop-up experience as well. Now, during the presentation, let's talk about during the presentation as well. So at the K pop-up, which of course many of you will be doing, what you want to start off with, of course, is your personal testimonial. Share your personal story of why you joined Riemann. And it should be only 2 minutes. Don't do 10 minutes. Don't do 20 minutes. It should be short and simple because why? You want that to duplicate. You don't want a long story in the beginning because the longer it is, then guess what? Someone's going to make it even longer. And it's going to keep on becoming longer and longer and longer. 2 minutes is all you need why you guys started with Riemann and talk about, what stood out for you, right? What did the products do for you? What did the business do for you? And where do you see Riemann going, right? People want to hear those things. They want to hear your personal story as well. And, afterwards, right, then you go into the presentation, right? And as you see the presentations that we've done in the past, after the testimonial, then we open up the company. Hey, this is Riemann. We talk about company background, right? We talk about obviously company background first. Then you do a brief introduction, of course, about that. And then you go into the key highlights of why this company is so amazing because of these three main reasons: giant Pyeongpur, lava water, liposome technology. Just talk about those three things. Share your before and after photos because, of course, that's going to help you sell. And then go into the product demonstration right afterwards. Depending on the group you have, you could take one person and put them into the front room and let that person be a model where you could do a live demonstration in front of the room. Sometimes, if depending on the crowd, you can go right into product demonstration. Some events, depending on the type of people they are, if they're more for business, I'm going to go straight into the compensation plan right after the before and after photos, just like how I do in the presentation, to waste no time. Okay, but obviously, if you're going to follow this route, which we've been doing many times, go into the product demonstration, of course, and have, of course, everyone wash their hands first, get everyone to wear a headband, take the before and after photos, of course, and of course, go into all the products, go into all the steps, and remember that you have to make sure they're having a good experience, okay? The experience is the most important thing. When they're washing their face, take pictures and videos while they're doing that. Calming gel, show the gold, right? Put the calming gel onto your hand. Show the gold flakes in the calming gel, right? The booster serum booster. It's all an experience of how Riemann and how we do our business, right? And then afterwards, of course, you want to, of course, go into the business presentation. Let everyone know that you'll explain the business side now, because now they have this products in their face. They're looking shiny and all glowy, loving their self. And guess what? Now they're all excited. Now they want to learn how to make money, right? So now you go right into the business presentation and mention a few key things. Talk about we are a high margin wholesale distribution company. You do not have to keep on saying things like, oh yeah, we are an MLM, multi-level market. You don't gotta keep on blasting that during a pop-up, okay? You want to just say keywords, high margin wholesale distribution company, where individuals earn 10 to 54% in commissions by sharing online or offline. And here's the best part, no auto ship requirements, no monthly sale quotas. Things like this is the keywords of what people want to hear, that it's a high margin wholesale distribution business and company, right? We go out there, we share products. If I want to just share products only and make 30, 40%, I could do so. I don't have to recruit. Recruiting is an optional thing, right? And of course, you want to see those keywords, go into the business presentations, talk about the positions, right? And you could have a few testimonials too. If you have some team members that are there right now, you could have one or two or three speak about their, short journey, 2 minutes as well, a short testimony of them. Hey, my name is Mary. I'm a team leader of the company. Before this, I was a teacher. And, prior to this, I was always looking for some side income and side hustle. But more importantly, when I tried these products, I fell in love with the products because of what it did to my skin. And now the fact that I can make some extra money by sharing a good product, I said, why not? So I got started with the company, and here's what happened. Within this amount of short period of time, I became a team leader. And now Remon has been able to offset multiple bills for me, right? While I can still focus on my full-time job, this has given me extra freedom and extra, safety for my future career as well. And it's all due to the training and support of Remon, right? Something like that is simple. They talk about where they were in the past. They saw what stood out for Remon. They saw, and now they're sharing with them what has happened to them after 6 months, 9 months, right? That's a good testimonial. That's how you want to always have testimonials. And that's how you want to make sure your testimonials are always like that. So it could duplicate. You never want to be like, hey, hey, my name is John, and I started with Remon, and I love Remon, and you got to make sure you get to the trainings. You got to never give up. You got to never fall down. You don't want to you don't want to try to train them. You always want to give just a testimonial. Don't never make it a training monial. Make it a testimonial, right? Your job is not to train people. Your job is just to give a testimonial of your experience, your background, how you joined, why you joined, and where you are right now. Okay, that's happening during the presentation. Okay, now let's talk about the closing, right? Once the overview is finished, right, what do you got to do? Business partners got to go to the guests and help them register, right? And questions you want to ask is this: hey, what did you like best? I always go to a guest and ask them. The first thing I ask them is this: what did you like best, right? If they say, I love the fact that you guys have your own plant, your own ingredients, and the lava water. And guess what I'm going to say too? Hey, that's exactly what I love too. I'm going to agree to what they say. And next thing I'm going to say is, hey, let me help you register, right? And I help them sign up with their phone. Hey, do you want to sign up as a manager or senior manager? What do you want to do, right? Maybe they want to be a planner, manager, senior manager. I give them a few options, right? Not too many options. I'm going to give them just only a few options, 2 or 3 max, okay? More options you give, more confused they get, right? Just give them 2 or 3 options. Hey, there's planner, but you could also start as a manager, senior manager. What do you want to do, right? And afterwards, right, of course, you want to follow up with them and tell them, okay, but when they're leaving or before they leave, make sure they also go to the orientation. You always want to never leave a meeting without scheduling another meeting, okay? What I mean by that is before they go home, you want to talk about the orientation that's coming up on Tuesday for all the new people. Because why? You want to make sure that person, as they leave the K pop-up, they're getting ready for Tuesday, right? And Tuesday will answer a lot more questions. You don't want to be you don't want to be the person that gives them all the answers. You want the system to be answering them the questions, because if you give them all the answers, they don't have to come to the orientation. If you give them the answers, they don't have to come to the training. You want the system to be building the business. You don't want to be the person always answering all the questions. Yes, you could help them answer a few things here and there, but usually when someone asks me things like, hey, how do you work the website? How do you do this? How do you do that? And you know what I say? Hey, that's a great question, but this Tuesday, we're going to actually go over that on orientation, right? At 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'll see you at orientation, right? When somebody asks me, hey, so how does the manager and senior manager part works? If I'm going to help them close, I'll explain manager, senior manager, and tell them what the benefits are. But if they ask me a little bit more and more questions, I'm going to be like, hey, look, great question. This Tuesday at 6 p.m., we're going to go over all of that in details. Make sure you come to the orientation, right? So your job is to make them plug into the system and invite them for the next upcoming orientation or training or whichever event you have as well, okay? Remember, experience is the most important thing at a K pop-up. Better the experience, the more somebody wants to share, okay? Let's talk about common objections and rebuttals at a Riemann K pop-up, okay? And you're gonna hear this a lot. You're gonna hear this a lot where, of course, someone's gonna tell you, manager, senior manager, 3,000, 6,000, that's a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money right now, Steve, right? Here's what I say to them, right? Well, I know how you feel because I felt the same way too. I always start with those words. I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. Feel, felt, found. Okay? Feel, felt, found. Remember those words. I know how you feel. I felt the same way too, but here's what I found out. I've been in situations where I was short with money just like you. But I realized if I continue to do the same thing I'm doing right now, 6 months from now, a year from now today, I'm going to be in the same situation today, same position. And after looking to Riemann, here's what I found out. It was an investment more than an expense. You got to let people know that they're not just buying $3,000, $6,000 worth of products to use it all for themselves, right? This is more of an investment, right? It was a new income stream that has helped me offset many additional expenses today. Imagine Riemann paying your mortgage or your rent payments every month. How amazing would that be? So now let's get started, right? So you have to let them know that in the beginning, you know how they feel. You felt the same way too, but here's what you found out, that Riemann is an investment. Riemann is a vehicle to help them get them into a better financial situation in the next 6 months to a year from 2 years from today. If they can't afford 6,600 US dollars right now, in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, guess what? They're not going to be able to afford 6,600 again. It's not going to, if they continue to do what they're doing right now, same job, same expenses, same everything, what's going to change? Nothing's going to change, right? So you got to let them know that for things to change, they got to change. For things to get better, they got to get better, right? They have to do something different to offset and change their current financial situation. So let people know that it's more an investment, but also this is where you could break down the benefits of senior manager, benefits of manager, and what they would get in terms of return, their return of investment. If they purchase this amount, how much free products they get, what is the cash back, what is the Riemann dollars? That needs to be broken down, because if it's clear for them, I can make a good decision and say, okay, you know what? I'll sign up as a senior manager. I'll sign up as a manager. I'll buy a 1,500 starter kit, right? If the information is clear, right, it's easy for them to make a decision. So understand that if you have people that say things like this, go ahead and of course say the same things back to them, because that's going to help you get later on as well. You're going to have people that says, I don't have time, right? Common thing that people say. I understand, you can say this answer as well. That's the beauty of this business, is designed to be flexible. We all started part-time. You don't need 40 hours a week. You just need consistency, a few hours of focused effort that can change everything. If we wait until life slows down, we'll be waiting forever. The question is, can you commit a few hours a week to build a future where you can have more time, right? Anytime somebody that tells me I don't have time, Steve, I tell them this: look, I don't even need your time. All I need is you to refer me contacts, your referrals, right? Let me speak to your referrals. Let me speak to your contacts while you're at work, while you're with your kids, right? Let me handle your meetings for you. I'll go out and do the pop-ups. I'll go out and do the meetings. I'll go out there and do the Zoom calls and the demonstrations and let them use the products. Let me do the meetings while you're at work. And when Riemann starts growing and you see value out of this, then put in more time, right? So if someone tells you I need more time, that's what you should be telling them in terms of, what they should be saying. If they say they don't have time, remember that people can always make time if they see value. Trust me on this, okay? The reason why they tell you I don't have time is because you haven't showed enough value to them, and that's why they say I don't have time. If the value was high enough, let me tell you something. Price doesn't matter, time does not matter if the value was high enough, right? Price is irrelevant when the value is there. Time, it's irrelevant when the value is there. Think about this, right? If I offered you guys a brand new car, right? Your favorite car, your dream car, right? Which could be, let's say, over, let's say, $100,000, for example, right? But I offered it for you for $6,600. Would you buy it, even though if money is tight? Of course you would, because why? The value of the car is almost 30 times, 20 times more than senior manager, right? 20 times more. So it's worth it for you to invest the 6,600, right? If somebody sees value in Remon, where this investment, this amount of money they could spend can help them get to a better financial situation, get them to a better place in life, and they see the value there because the products are good as well, they will invest. They will say, okay, I'll make time, right? I'll make time. I'll put in the money, right? They'll figure it out. Trust me on this. It happens all the time. If they say, I don't have time or I don't have money, you got to work on becoming better and showing value to them so they make time and they can actually find the money as well, okay? Now, a lot of people are going to say this, look, I'm not good in sales. Look, perfect because we don't sell, we share. You know, if you can share your favorite restaurant, your favorite TV show, your product with a friend, you can do this. The system and products do all the heavy lifting for you. Nobody joins Remont as a professional. We learn together, and the more you share, the more natural it feels. People trust your authentic story more than a sales pitch, right? Every time someone tells me like I'm not good in sales, I like to share a story of one of my team members. I remember she told me, Steve, I am the worst salesperson ever. I can't do this. So she's like, let me just use the products, okay? And then a few days later, she gives me a call or message me and say, hey, Steve, I can't believe this, but at my office, at the dental office, every one of my employees, every one of my coworkers are asking me, what am I using for my skin? What skincare line am I using? So everybody started getting my referrals for my skincare line, and I started selling products to them. And I couldn't believe it, Steve, because I'm the worst salesperson, but it's crazy how just by me using the products, people wanted to buy the product as well. You guys know there's so many stories of individuals that were not good in sales. They never been in sales. Only thing they did was just use the products and their skin was shiny and glowing. And people started asking the questions, what are you doing to your face? What products are you using? And that's how they sold so many products. Karen Kang, right? Her friends noticed her skin glow and she realized, wow, I got to do this as a business. I remember a random lady contacted me from Facebook. She said, hey, I found you on Facebook from your hashtag from Inselvin Remon on hashtag on Facebook. Contacted me. She's like, I used to use Remon products. I was buying it from Korea. Everybody at my work right now has been asking me what I use for skincare, and now I realized I wasn't gonna do the business, but she said too many people is asking her about a skincare routine. She has to do the business and guess what she did? She signed up as a senior manager, right? So many people out there, they're like not good in sales. They never done sales. They just use the products and people just keep on asking them, what do they use? So remember, when you meet people like this, share other stories of individuals that have actually had the same story like this. You can share this story as well if they're not good in sales, okay? Someone goes, I don't know enough people, right? My list is too small, right? Look, when people say they don't know enough people, let them know one thing. Now, with what we do today, we do a lot of social media marketing. You don't even have to have a big network, right? You guys know that every person I've been meeting, when they say things like, hey, Steve, so what about people that don't have a network? What about those people? How do they get business partners? How do they get customers? I tell them right now, we teach people how to do social media marketing. They're advertising through online social media. And guess what? In my personal experience, I had over 30,000 people, 30,000 random people message me that they're interested about K-beauty. They're interested about working with me, right? Random people. I'm a guy. My guy friends, they're not even into K-beauty and skincare, right? So I don't have enough people, but where did I find all the people? Well, I found a lot of them online, all on social media, right? So when someone says, I don't know enough people, let them know there are millions of people out there dying for an opportunity like this. They would love K-beauty. You can find them on social media. And of course, we train all this through the social media training as well. And let them know you don't need a big list. 20, 30 people can create a good massive momentum that duplicates in your business. You don't need a big list. You need solid group of people when you can work with them. And of course, you need a big list in the beginning to, of course, go through the numbers. But in terms of, you don't need a big team right away. If you have 20 to 30 people that you can contact, that could, of course, start your business, of course, with Remon as well, right? Of course, you hear things like this sounds like a pyramid. I don't really hear this too often anymore. Many, many years ago, I've heard things like this before. These days, I rarely, rarely, rarely hear. Maybe one out of 1,000 people I hear this, right? But you know, understand that pyramids are illegal, okay? Because pyramid companies, there's no real product or service, right? Remon is the number one K-beauty company in Korea. It has patents. It has award-winning products. Customers can buy without joining the business. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it real. And at the same time, understand that every corporation today is structured like a pyramid, right? So let people know that, pyramids are illegal. We're not a pyramid. That's completely different. It can sound like it, but honestly, we're completely different. We offer real products that people use, love, and enjoy, and that we can go out there and market it without having auto ship requirements or sale volume requirements or recruiting requirements. You could become part of Riemann, not having to recruit and still earn 40% commission as a senior manager as well, right? Of course, you're going to hear this as well. Let me think about it. I need to think about Riemann, or I don't know if I want to do it right now. Usually when people say this to you, let me think about it. Here's what this means, right? Let me think about it means they still need to, they still have a few questions on their mind. They still have a few concerns on their mind, right? And now they're thinking, let me think about it. Let me do my research, right? But the reality is this, they have to go out there, think about it because they want to do more research, right? And they have a few more questions. But the best person to ask about any research or any questions is you, right? Is you, right? So instead of Googling it online or trying to find out more details, they should, of course, ask you, right? And at the same time, let them know that, look, you could think about it, you could think about it, you could think about it, but you're going to be wasting more time, right? If you have questions, come to the orientation. Anytime someone has questions or they need to get a secondary exposure or they're not 100% committed yet, I always get them to the orientation or a product training or one of the upcoming trainings or a Zoom call, because once they see that there's many people that are actually participating in Riemann, once they see that it's a bigger event and bigger company with a lot of people, they're like, wow, it's not just me and you doing this, right? A lot of times people have a presumption of thinking, okay, like Riemann, is it this big? Is it that big like you say it is? You're telling me it's the number one company in Korea. I'd never heard about it. Is Riemann that big, right? And if we're just at a conversation, or maybe there's a few people with us, I'm thinking right now it's just only a handful of people doing Riemann. But when I come to a Zoom call with 200 plus people, right? And I come to one of those orientation calls or weekly presentation calls with a couple hundred people, now I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot of people plugging in to these presentations and orientation as well, right? So anytime you have someone that wants to think about it, anytime you have somebody that's not 100% saying yes to it, the best thing you can do is get them to the orientation. Remember, people need to have multiple exposures to say yes. Sometimes you don't say yes the first time, you don't say yes the second time, you don't say yes the third time. Sometimes it could take up to seven exposures, 7 times you trying for them to say yes. So for example, I'll give you an example, okay? I met a girl on Instagram, right? I invited her to a presentation, a Zoom presentation, and she saw it, right? She was interested, she liked it, but she still didn't sign up, okay? Next, I offered her to come to the office in Irvine so I can give her some samples, right? To give her a travel kit, right? So she drove down to the Irvine office, met with me. I gave her the travel kit sample kit, gave her a little bit of exposure of the office, right? That was exposure number two, right? The office. Plus, of course, the product trying out is another exposure, right? That's three, right? And then we had another training we had another training. We had an orientation coming up. Okay, we had an orientation, and she came to the orientation. It was like we had a presentation on Thursday. Monday we had an office event. Tuesday we had an orientation. She came to the Tuesday orientation. After the Tuesday orientation, she made a decision. After the fourth exposure of now, she tried the products out, went to the office, saw a presentation, met with me, saw the orientation, boom, say senior manager, signed up right after the orientation, 6,000 SB done, right? So multiple exposures will lead the yeses to you, okay? Sometimes they say no the first time. What do you got to do? Get them to another Zoom call, right? Or introduce them to another leader, your upline, your sponsor, right? The more people they get to meet, the more exposures they get, the easier for them to say yes, right? Usually 7 no's equal a yes. And think about this. Many of you right now on the call, some of you said yes the first time. Some of you didn't join right away. Some of you had to get a secondary exposure, a third exposure, a fourth exposure, a fifth exposure for you to say yes to Riemann opportunity, right? So understand that if it took you a few times, it could take others a few times as well. So be good at getting people to see multiple exposures for Riemann so they can, of course, say yes to the business as well, right? And here's a few things I want to talk about of mindset training. But before I do that, I want to just open up the room for if there are other questions that people get in terms of any type of things that you guys get in terms of at an event or a pop-up, or maybe you have a tough time with a certain question, right? You guys can feel free to ask me that question right now, and I'll give you guys an answer of what I would say if you run into that question. So you guys can unmute yourself, or you can put into the chat box of any tough questions you get with Riemann, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. And my years of doing this, I love meeting people that have a lot of questions, or maybe they're negative, or they have a lot of this and that. Because why? I love explaining to people of what the correct answer is, right? So of course, if you guys have questions, feel free feel free to put in the chat box or unmute yourself. Okay. So Gracious says they say they still have other skincare products, right? Okay. Now, if you have people that say, "Hey, I'm still using a product line right now," if it's more for the business, okay, if it's a business person that you're speaking to and they're telling you, "Hey, I love the business, but I already have my set of, La Mer and La Prairie. I'm using Kiehl's already. I just bought a set. I can't go into this right now, right?" I tell them this: look, yes, you have your products, and I know the products are great that you bought, and of course you spent a lot of money in that as well. But here's one thing I want you to know right now. Riemann, right, is more of a business investment to help you grow the business, right? You can still use your old skincare line, but at the same time, wouldn't you want to start making money with Riemann right away, right, instead of later? Wouldn't you want to, whatever you paid for your last product, what if with Riemann in your first month can cover your costs of your Riemann purchases plus what you paid in the past 30 days? Then it wouldn't matter too much if you bought Riemann right now, right? That's what I would tell the person if someone says, I still have some products left over, right? Or let them know that, hey, you could use that products for your body, or your hands or your legs or your feet, right? You could use that for something else. Riemann is a business and it's an investment to help you grow your business and also make money so you can offset those things where things like that wouldn't matter anymore, right? Imagine where things like that wouldn't matter for you in the future, where you don't have to think about how much you paid last month on those products because you still have products, and now you feel that you're just wasting money because you just bought some products, right? Imagine you didn't have to think like that, right? With Riemann, you could offset those expenses, makes a surplus of income where things like that wouldn't matter, right? So understand that with Riemann, it can offset those expenses, your costs with the last products. But for me and you, just being honest, if you want to get started right now and you want to have a better future and a better financial future, and want to make some extra income, I would get started with Riemann right now. Do this as an investment, as a business, not just for you to use your products, right? That's what I would tell somebody if someone says, I still have other products left over, okay? They said we love the products, but it's too expensive, right? Yes, of course. Everyone has a different budget, right? Of course, there's people that make lesser income, and there's people that make more income, right? And of course, people will say Riemann is expensive sometimes. I get that once in a while too, right? I let people know, okay, Riemann could be expensive, right? But I let them know that it's expensive. It could be expensive to you if you're just gonna be using the products and not doing this as a business, right? Because if you're gonna just buy all the products for yourself, yes, it could be expensive, right? But think about this, right? An experienced kit has 7 products for $100. Each product is just about $12, right? EX signature set is $335, but you understand with the EX signature set, you get about 9 products. You get $195 in free products, right? Right now, the new package, if you guys don't know, you get $195, I believe, in free products, okay? It's $335. Think about that. You got to break down the math of it. Look, it's $335. You're getting 10% back as a planner. You're getting the free products you could sell. Essentially, you're only paying about $100 for this set right now for about 7 products. You go sell the free products, you're getting 10% back as a planner. If you do so, your cost for the EX signature set is only about $100 for 9 items, which is $10 each, right? Which is about $10 each, right? So between me and you, is that expensive? $10 per item for a #1K beauty product, right? You got to break it down like that. People are just seeing the final number, 335, 1500, 1600, 1730. You got to break down the numbers of how much they're getting back, what the actual cost is, what the details are. And you got to break it down where it's not that expensive. It's not that expensive, right? People find the product expensive. They also ask if there are discounts and free shipping. And also some people don't like a shiny face, right? So, the expensive part, like I mentioned, you got to really break down how much they're actually paying and how much product they're getting for free and all the discounts they're getting for buying a signature set. Remember, $335 right now with the signature set. If they sell their free products and they get their 10%, their cost right now is only $100. Letting you guys know, it's only about $100 for the cost of that set of a full-size bottle. Full-size bottle, okay? And also, if they don't like a shiny face, let them use less product and just use a little bit. They don't have to use so much because, of course, if you use a lot, you're going to get a shiny face. If you use a lot of booster and serum and you use a lot of active cream, they're going to get a shiny face, right? But some people, what they do is they add a little Botalab body cream onto the facelift as well to remove the shine as well. So you can do that. And the Radiant Sum doesn't give you that much shine as well. So if you have just let them tone down a little bit on the booster serum and cream, but also they can add a little bit of body cream so they can actually tone down the shininess or use a little bit less product as well, which of course I would recommend on that part if they're complaining about it's too shiny, okay? How to handle a person at a K-pop-up who doesn't like how their face shines and says in front of everyone, right? So if, as I just mentioned there, right? So if someone says their face is too shiny, just add a little bit of Botalab body cream a little bit to on their face a little bit to, of course, help the shines. I believe one of the leaders mentioned that as well. They do that to remove the shine or just do a little bit less, a less product for someone that is against the shine. But of course, you don't want that one person just saying it out loud, saying, "Oh my gosh, my face is so shiny. I hate this." You don't want that one negative comment to go out there and just spread with everybody, right? One negative comment can spread. So always have light music playing in the background, have some light music playing in the background, and have a conversation where even if someone says a negative thing, the music blocks out her opinion to everybody else, okay? And yes, we had the free shipping, of course. It's, obviously $200 and higher, you get free shipping, right? So, you want to push the signature set EX line, the kit right now, because it's just such a good deal right now where the pink's obviously $335, but the discount is such great. You got to show them all the breakdown and the benefits of them, of course, getting that set as well. Some said they're interested in the business model, yet no reply. Respond to follow-up texts and Zooms. How do we share at least 7 times without making people feeling being pressured? Okay, good question. Okay, so yes, you shared it before. They're interested in the business model, but yet they don't reply, right? And how do you share with them at least 7 times, right? So let's say you shared it once. They like the business model, but they haven't got back to you yet, right? Well, that first time you want to ask them, hey, let me help you get registered right now, okay? But let's say they're a little bit hesitant and they don't do anything, but you don't want to do it, you don't want to push them too much, right? Here's what you can do. Maybe a week pass, right? You can just say something like this. Hey, I've been super busy. I've been meaning to get back to you. So now it's not like you need them because you've been busy, right? Start off like that. Say, hey, I've been super busy. I've been meaning to get back to you. And I know you love the business model, which of course we want to talk more about. Let me explain to you how I can help you really position yourself with this business model to help you start earning an additional $500 to $1,000 a month, right? Are you free right now? Let me help you set it up. We can go on a Zoom call or I can send you my link to register right now so we can help you get started, right? That's what I would do without putting too much pressure. Just saying, okay, I've been busy this whole week. I forgot to get back to you, but hey, I know you are interested in the business model. Do you have a minute right now, right? And help them register, right? Let's say they ghost you, they don't really do anything again the second time. Wait again and just say, let's say you wait a week and just say, hey, whatever the name is, say, hey, Kitty, right? And just wait for the response. Wait for them to actually respond back to you because now they're free because they just respond back to you and then go back into what you were talking about as well, right? So that's what I would do 1, 2, 3 times, right? And the third time, if they respond back to you, they should have a more of an open conversation of being able to actually sign up and register and going through the process with you as well, right? And of course, if they're not too, they're not too responsive in signing up again, here's what you want to do next, right? Invite them to the next Zoom call or orientation, right? Or maybe introduce them to their sponsor, your upline, someone they can speak to again, so they can get another exposure to the business, or maybe they still have questions that we need to have them answered as well. So use different strategies in terms of Zoom calls, meetings, conversation strategies, maybe invite them out if possible, right? Anything possible to get more exposures, more conversations to meet with them as well. Okay, that's what I would do to get at least 4 to 5 with them as well. If the products are world class and number one create so much money's paid on recruiting commission instead of cutting product price for customers. If the products are world class and number one in Korea, why is so much money paid on recruitment commissions instead of cutting product prices for customers, right? So with commissions with recruiting, right? So obviously our company is obviously a direct sales model, which of course has a network marketing structure to it now as well. And obviously pays for individuals that build leaders. It builds for people that for the leadership match, and of course for union level, and all those components recently added is where the strong part of the compensation plan is, right? But instead of cutting prices, right? The reason why our booster and serum, for example, is not $20 and our cleanser is not $5 is because at the same time, you know, everything has a calculation and everything also has a standard as well, right? If the products are just $5 and $10 a bottle, right? Yes, that's amazing. It's so cheap, right? But at the same time, you have to understand that our business model is based on direct sales, right? The company doesn't do, the company doesn't just do their own advertising and sell products on their own, or the company doesn't contact every single department store and sells at the department store. They have only one channel. The one channel is through distributors like us. We are the channel to make sales for the company, right? But if the product was, let's say, $5 and $10, how much commission are you going to make off that $5 or $10? Not much. You make $2 or $3, right? In any business, right? For me personally as well, when I looked at Remon, yes, Remon had great products, but I told myself at the same time, you can have great products, but if I sell a product and I only make a few dollars per product and I can't make a lot of money, there's no point in me doing this at the end of the day. Because why? I joined Remon for a business decision. I made a business decision that Remon can generate me X amount of dollars to do what I want to do. In life, you want to make your money to do what you want to do in life, right? But that's why people do a business, right? They could take the money, invest, and do what they want to do in life. But if Remon was $5 or $10 and I'm making $1 per bottle I sell, honestly, it's not worth my time. That's the reality, right? I could do my other businesses, all the companies. I got things to do. I got things to pay for. And obviously, that's my personal reason, right? You could have amazing products, but what's the point of having amazing products if the compensation is bad, right? And of course, with customers, keep in mind that, as a customer, they're having, of course, all the discounts as a loyalty customer, but even for a distributor like us, right, that earn planner 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, 54%, once you have your own customer account, think about this, right? A customer account, once you're at a Pool Plus, you get 10% off on the Pool Plus account. Then depending what position you are, you get additional 10, 20, 30, 40, 54% off on top of the 10%. So you're essentially getting a huge discount on the products by having a Pool Plus if you order in a Pool Plus customer account, right? So, there is a reason why we do it like this, because we want to make sure that our distributors, which are the fuel to build the business, right? They're going out there getting customers, right? They're going out there building a team and getting customers. We're making sure that they're compensated well enough, right? At the end of the day, people that obviously bring in business, right? Obviously, everyone brings in some sort of business, right? But what I also realized was, A players, top leaders and top distributors and top marketers and top entrepreneurs, right? If they're not getting paid what they want to get paid, they'll easily go to another company as well. They'll easily go to another company. And to attract high level people, you need to have a high level compensation plan as well, right? So there's a reason behind everything. But once again, if the money, if you can't make money here, I can get a job and make more money at Remon, right? Then obviously the business structure wouldn't work, right? And what percentage of people in Remon actually make a profit after expenses, not just revenue? Well, I don't have the exact number of how many people make a profit after expenses, not just the revenue, right? Obviously is this. If I buy $1,000 worth of products, and if I don't sell nothing, if I don't talk to anybody and I make no money, obviously I just spent $1,000 on a product. But the beauty about that is, of course, yes, I didn't make a profit yet, but I didn't do any work. If I don't do any work, I can't blame anybody else except myself, right? And at the end of the day, I'm actually still getting some products. If I buy a few $100 worth of products, $300 worth of products, I just got some great Korean skincare products, right? If I don't talk to anybody, if I don't sell anything, if I don't do any meetings or pop-ups, of course, I'm not going to make any money, right? And then it's just spent $335, right? And that's that person's decision of not doing anything, right? And anything you do, right? If you don't do nothing, you get nothing, right? So that's pretty much the give and take in this business as well. So I don't have the exact percentage of how much people make a profit, but I'm letting you know that my personal journey with Riemann today, I personally joined, right, as a senior manager. I spent my 6,600. My first 7 days, I made $10,500, right, which so I was already in profit. And then my initial inventory, I sold some, I gave out some samples as well. And then every month after that, I was making 12 to 15 to $20,000 a month to 30, 40, 50,000 a month. Now I'm making over $100,000 a month, right? And I've been with Riemann now for almost 3 years. So, my total investment in Riemann was the senior manager, right? I invested, and of course, I bought some products along the way as well. But even though whether I spent 20 or $30,000 worth of products, I already made over million. I already made over millions of dollars with Riemann already in my 2.5 years of business. So for my ROI, obviously it's a huge ROI, right? And of course, everyone doesn't have the same story as me. Some people, they'll have a slower story. Even though some people can start buying $300 to $1,000 at first month, they might not see a profit until a year later because they haven't had no sales the first year. That can happen. But after year one, they can start making profit. Then more profit, then more profit, then more profit. I've seen stories like that tons of times, okay? Tons of times, okay? What if the person says she has a full-time job and won't be able to manage, right? So if someone has a full-time job, this is what I share with them, right? Hey, I know you have a full-time job. You're a busy mom. You're let's say you have a full-time job. Look, there's so many people. Like I want to talk to you about my friend Karen, Princess, right? Hazel, right? They all have full-time jobs, just like you. They're actually almost the same age as you as well. And guess what? Even with them as a full-time job, they were still able to become a team leader, a director, and even a senior director with this company as well. And here's how you can do this, right? While you're at work, while you're busy, right? Obviously, you know people. Have those contacts, just introduce them to me. Let me speak with them, let me meet with them, let me do the demonstration for them so you don't have to take your time out of your work schedule so that it could affect your busy schedule, right? So that's what I would do for someone that says, I don't have time, I have a full-time job. Some people are scared to use new products due to back acne or sensitivity. What do you say, right? So I always tell people, look, then that's a common thing too. A lot of people, they don't want to try new products because they feel their skin is going to break out. And it could happen. It could happen if they're very, very sensitive, right? So if someone's really, really sensitive or they might feel like they want to break out, recommend them to use the products only just once a day for 2 weeks straight, right? Tell them, hey, just use the products once a day for 2 weeks straight and see how it goes, right? And if there's any reactions, any breakouts in day 3, 4, or 5, you can just stop, right? But try just little by little once a day for 2 weeks straight and let me know how it goes the first 2 weeks, right? So I would tell them just to try it out, right? Try it out for a day or two, or try it out a few times and see how you like it, right? Let them just, they're not going to break out the first time using it. Usually, what happens if they use maybe too much product on sensitive skin, yes, they could break out because they you put in too much products right away. That could happen. Obviously, there's a purging time frame, right? Obviously, there's people that have sensitive skin, so you gotta of course know your customer and your person, your client, on what kind of skin type they have, right? So ask them those kind of questions because you don't want to just hey just use this whole set in 1 week and they have sensitive skin and then something can happen. You don't want that to happen, of course, right? So always talk with them and gradually increase it along the way as well, right? I tell people who are close to me only when they say it's expensive. I tell them we women pay $80 for nails and even more for hair. Why not invest in your skin, which is all what represents you? And they agree. 100%. Great answer as well, right? If someone says $80 is expensive, you're right. They spend $80 on nails, they spend $80 on their hair all the time, right? Why not invest their skin, which is something they, of course, show people every single time, right? Yes, is direct selling model. That's how we want to offer for everyone for a great business opportunity. Yes, exactly. when people ask me for more details about Remon, what's the best way to respond? So I give them enough information to get them excited but not overwhelmed, right? So when someone asks about, can you give me more details about Remon without giving you, that's a good question, without overloading them with too much information, right? So what I like to say is this. What I like to say is, I actually have it, I believe, saved here. I say, one second here. I'm going to share this in the chat as well. Obviously, there's a lot of people that always ask me different questions. So of course, all my answers, I have it just either auto responding or automated. So I don't have to always keep on typing it. But I will put the answer here. Someone asked me the question, can you give me a little bit more details before I go into a Zoom call? Can you give me a little bit more details? A little more details, right? And someone asked me that, this is what I say. I'm going to put in the chat box. We are the #1 K-beauty brand from South Korea that enter the US market. We work with affiliates, influencers, and distributors that market and sell products online and offline. Individuals make a high margin commission by doing the work and have flexibility in their schedule. Our HQ office is in Irvine, California. If you're interested, please let me know and I'll schedule it for a different day, right? Like, so something like this is what I would say. And then they go, okay, I'll join the Zoom call. Okay, I'll come by for the meeting, right? So I like to give that kind of information to not put too much information to them, but just to give them enough information as well, okay? Let's see. Yes, I'll share the Zoom recording and the PDA presentation. Yes, I will. My friend has severe eczema and little change on her face causes outbreak. She didn't want to try it. I know this works well with eczema. But how do we handle this? So if someone has severe eczema, right? And any little change in her face, she breaks out, right? Okay, so if someone has severe eczema and it's on her face, and you heard a lot of stories with Eunice and other ladies that had eczema that used our products and had, of course, great changes. They have to get comfortable, of course, with the products, but I would show before and after photos first. I would show other people that have eczema and show many testimonials. Hey, this person had eczema, look what happened to her skin. Look at her arm, look at her hand, look at this, look at her face, right? Share the testimonials because people want to see social proof first before they can even consider, right? That's number one. After they see some social proof, then the second thing is maybe let them just try it on their hand. Let them feel how nice and luxurious and how great the cream feels on their hand first, and see if they have any reactions on their hand. Third, they could just get one portion of the face, put a little bit on the portion of the face, and see if there's any reaction in the portion of the face. If all three are fine, then let them start using a little bit as well. That's what I would do. First, show the testimonials before and after photos, ease her guard down a little bit, let her try it on her hands so she feels comfortable. And then, of course, a third place wherever on her face as well, okay? Do you have a good foundation of support? Not everyone might not be good at marketing at first, right? Yeah, so, I mean, that's a good question too. I know everyone's not good in marketing, right? Not everyone's good in promoting and marketing. And that is something where we lack in skills sometimes, right? So when you, in the beginning, my mentor always told me this, right? Whatever you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. And what I mean by that is if I'm inviting 10 people, but I'm a bad inviter, I just got to invite 20 people, 30 or 40 or 50 people to make up the difference, right? So that's one option. The second thing is you don't have to be a great marketer. All you need to do is have somebody else help you with marketing as well, right? Or find a team member that's good at marketing, right? Or use my marketing videos, use my videos, use whatever we offer in terms of marketing to help you with marketing as well. You don't have to create the videos. You don't have to create the content. You don't have to create the flyers and posters. You guys know that right now we're creating all those flyers and videos where you can share all that, right? So you don't have to do it yourself. Utilize our tools, right? Utilize our tools. You could also, I don't know if you use ChatGPT, right? You could ask ChatGPT, hey, how can I become a better marketer? What are some suggestions me promoting Remon, right? And different things like this, you can always educate yourself and learn more on how to become a great marketer, right? But if I'm terrible in marketing, that's fine, right? I'll start off terrible, but guess what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. if I see some improvements, I'm going to work on that. If I see some things that are not going too well, I'm going to change my marketing strategy and I'm going to find out what works for me, right? The way that somebody became a great marketer is because they failed multiple times as a bad marketer first and then became a great marketer, right? Myself, I've been doing marketing now for almost 20 years. In the beginning, I was terrible at marketing. I was terrible in sales. Even picking up a phone was so hard for me to talk to any random stranger, right? But now it's so easy for me because I've done it so many times. But for you to become a great marketer in the future, just keep on failing, keep on getting no's, keep on getting rejections. That's all part of building your business. Remember this: yeses build your business, no's build your character as well. Okay, so understand that marketing, you'll get better, or utilize myself or anyone else that could help you with marketing as well. Or just get people to these Zoom calls, right? And let the training teach your team members how to become great in marketing as well, What part of the product she's going to use for 2 weeks? Is that the whole kit? She has super sensitive skin, right? So, if she has super sensitive skin, right, I would recommend, cleanser, right? Cleanser, oil mist, calming gel, right? And that's it. Add the booster and serum maybe a week later, right? And the cream a week later, right? I would just use cleanser, oil mist, calming gel. That's it. Booster, the booster, it could be a little bit strong for sensitive people. Don't you don't want them to like do too much booster right away on super sensitive skin. So start off with just a cleanser, calming gel, oil mist, and then add the rest of the products a little bit later on as well. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. I have a friend, she said she has sensitive skin. Her doctor told me not to use anything, just use water to wash her face. If someone says she has super sensitive skin and she can't use anything, just have her use cleanser and calming gel, and that's it. Those 2 items, and that's it, right? If someone, the spa owner, requests detailed information about the product before attending any Zoom, is it recommended to send them the brochures? Yes. If someone wants detailed information, send them the brochures, send them the PDF, send them the booklets of the product line before they attend the Zoom call, which is completely fine, okay? Is it okay to join the marketplace and put up a pop-up stand? Yes, you could join up, any events and put up the pop-up stand and, market products. No problem. There's nothing wrong with that as well. Here's some questions. The products are from MLM company. Although the product is good, but the idea of direct sell being distributor does not entice me, right? So if somebody says the products are an MLM company and the products are great, but the idea of this is being a direct sales or being it doesn't entice me because you guys are known as a MLM company, right? If somebody says that, let them know, okay, thank you, and move on. That's it. Remember, our job is to sort, not to convince. I'll tell you one thing. Anytime I have a conversation with somebody and they give me any type of, hey, I'm not interested, you know what I say? I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Instantly. I never try to get them to join me ever. Remember this. You are giving them a golden opportunity, If someone says not interested, you guys are MLM, I'll see you later. Thank you. Have a nice day. Right? With the quickness. And I just hang up with the quickness because I like to show people like, hey, I don't need you. I don't really need you. I'm already here. I don't need you to join my team, right? I'm moving on to the next person. So be a master in sorting people, not trying to convince people. If you're trying to convince the person that already hates any type of MLM, what's the point of trying to convince that person? You're gonna be arguing with that person the whole time. Compensation model is good, but it seems that we must join early to enjoy this because of this model. Quite hard to keep stacking. If you get 40% of other people's paycheck, but I am not ready to start yet, right? Compensation model is good, but it seems like we must join early to enjoy this. Some people might say, hey, only the early people make money in Remon, right? Or the compensation is good, but for me to make the 40% of other people's paycheck, wrong mindset, because Remon is so at the infant stages right now. Somebody that thinks that they're late or they're not early right now is kind of just on another planet because we are just so early right now that people have no idea. Think about where Remon is right now. Only in 8 countries, going to 9th country. So if we have about minimum 41 more countries to go, right? If we're doing about $20 million sale now, imagine that times 40x that, right? I mean, if Remon became a $5 to $10 billion company, That's almost a 50x, right? We are just so early in where we are in the stages right now that you never want to tell people, you never want to let them think that they're behind because, oh, for me to make 40% leadership match, I need to have so many leaders, so many people on my team. Yes, of course, you do need a lot of leaders and you do want to have a big team to make the 40% match, but somebody starting today, somebody starting right now or last month could become a director in the next 3 to 6 months, become a senior director next year and national next year. An individual just joined us literally a few months ago, became a director. His wife became a director, right? And they're already on their races to become top, senior directors, national directors already, right? So it's already happening with people getting started even this month, right? And we haven't even opened up Europe yet, Out of Europe, you're going to see many directors, senior directors, national directors coming out of Europe. And if you're in Singapore, Malaysia, wherever you're from, you could have a piece of all that. All of those people can be a part of your team. So it only takes one good ace, one good recruit to join your team, and that person can bring in tons of people, right? So always have the mindset that you're still so early, okay? What do I say when they are interested, but they just don't want to try one or two products rather than the whole basic kit, right? What do I say when they are interested, but they just want to try one or two products rather than the whole basic kit, right? So if they're interested, they want to try only one or two products, let them just try one or two products. Let them go one or two products. They only want to buy one or two products, not buy the whole set. I say go buy the 1 or 2 products. I'm moving on. I'm still moving on. You're like, I have so many people that just buy 1 or 2 products. But for me, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tell them, hey, it's better if you do this and this and this. Of course, I'm gonna offer them the set. Of course, I'm gonna give them the reason why they should go for the set. But if they don't, guess what I'm doing? I'm already moving on. I'm already moving on to the next person. I'm keeping them. We want those people. We want to keep everyone that buys only one product, 2 product, right? Those are good people too. If they only buy 1 or 2 products every month, hey, that's fine with me. I'm still moving on. I'm still gonna look for the next person as well. That 1 or 2 person, that 1 product, 2 person, 2 product buyer could eventually buy a set later on. So let them just buy a product. Let them buy 2 products. And who cares? Who cares if they buy only 1 product, right? There are millions of people out there, okay? Yes. And how do I handle a comment like this? Careful, they are quote unquote careful. They are MLM in your ad comments. If somebody writes that in your ad comments, this is what you do. You delete it. You delete that comment. Okay. If someone goes careful, they are MLM, delete that comment. Okay. Easiest way to respond. What does Riemann products that is new to market? Health and beauty is very saturated. What does Riemann products that is new to market? Health and beauty is very saturated. Well, the industry of health and beauty, of course, is a big industry already. Of course, is a saturated market, but you have to understand, let people know that Riemann, our ingredients, our products are exclusive to Riemann only, meaning every other beauty company, skincare company, health company uses similar ingredients in all their products. Nobody can copy our ingredients. That's what makes our products different. And that's how we went #1 in South Korea. Think about it, right? Have you ever met another #1 K beauty company in your life before? Or you haven't. This is the first time you're meeting a #1 K beauty company. And understand that if someone is, saying that the market is so saturated, how can I make money in the beauty and health industry? Well, if someone says that, talk about the people that you're working with that are already making a lot of money in this industry. Talk about individuals like myself or whoever your leaders are that are already making money with Riemann as well, right? I'm letting all of you know that there is so much more opportunity ahead. There's so much more to go. The market is not saturated. The market is at just the very beginning stages. Yes, people spend millions and billions of dollars on skincare, health, and beauty. It's a huge industry. And they're buying tons of other brands and other companies as well. People don't even know about who we are yet. We have such a big market to grab right now, and we're just at the infant stages. You guys, I see it. I see us doing $5 billion in revenue, meaning, and if we do 5 billion, that means the excess team will be making $2.5 billion a year. Our organization will be making $2.5 billion in commission. Think about this. If you started a company and you had to pay your employees $2.5 billion a year. Do you know how healthy do you know how healthy that is for a company? Huge, huge, guys. This is happening. It is happening. Just letting all you guys know, okay? If we have friends that are business owners, nails and hair and facial salons, how can we share Riemann to them or interest them in corporate Riemann, right? if you have business owner friends that are nail salon owners, hair salon owners, and facial salon owners, right? The best way of contacting or talking to business owners is if you have a relationship with them, ask them, hey, have you been ever interested in K beauty? Have you ever used Korean products before, right? Ask them the first question, right? If they say yes or no, whatever the question is, let them know, hey, the number one K beauty company is just opening up right now in Singapore. And they're actually looking for a select few salon owners, hair salon owners, and a few nail salon owners to see if it's the right business for them to work with. And I thought about you because we've been friends. I know you. I know you're a salon owner. I know you're a hair salon owner. I know you're a nail salon owner. And out of anyone that I wanted to ask you because the executive I'm working with what told me to be selective. He said, hey, who do you know in Singapore as a business owner that might be good in working with as a collaborator with our skincare products, where we can actually share the products, do events there. Maybe the business owner might be interested in selling product as well. We are number one, right? And you could be the first salon owner to be marketing this in your market, right? So I thought about you, right? That's the kind of conversation you want to have because why? You want them to feel they're not exclusive, but that it was selective, that you made it very just, wow, it's only a select people you're looking for. You're not looking for everybody. You're only looking for a handful of business owners and salon owners, and you thought about them. So they're going to feel special because you reach out to them versus anybody else as well, right? So that's what I would say in terms of that as well. There are articles in New York Times, Washington Post, and other art magazines that talk negatively about MLM. How should we handle people who bring up that information, right? So if somebody says, hey, I saw on the New York Times that MLMs are bad, and I saw that on the Washington Post that MLMs are bad, right? I tell people this, everything you read online, everything you see online, don't take that opinions. Those are just opinions of people. You never want to live your life. You never want to live your life based on people's opinions. Because why? If you live your life based on people's opinions, you know what your entire life will look like? It's going to look like a zigzag. The news said this, so you did this. The news said this, so you did that. You're not making any decision for yourself, right? You're not making any decision for yourself. Just because somewhere online an article says something negative, you're already thinking it's negative. But that article could be written by a college student. The article could have been written about a someone that doesn't have money that wrote about something bad about Riemann, right? And they could say things like it's a bad MLM. They could say things like that, but at the end of the day, those are all opinions, right? Those are all just opinions of people, right? The news articles are opinions of people. News articles are not facts. They're opinions written by news writers and anchors, right? That's not facts. If you want facts, come to one of our presentations. Look at what we do, right? You want to share that with people, and you got to have backbone when you talk with people like that, right? If someone tells me that kind of stuff to me, I said, look, those are all just opinions of people that don't have any credibility. And if you want to live your life based on the New York Times, go follow the New York Times. Go follow their New York Times and see if you get rich just by reading the New York Times. But let me tell you something, you're not going to get rich just by reading the newspaper. If you really want to be rich, you want to be successful in life, you got to follow someone that's already successful. If that news writer, the reporter, whoever wrote that negative article, right? If that person is not making more money than me, that person is not making more money than the leader that I'm working with, I don't want to take their financial opinion. That news reporter is probably making $50,000, $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year, right? But that person is giving you financial advice on what to do with your life with MLMs. So think about that. Does that even make sense? Versus you're working with someone like myself that makes over $70,000 a month, over $100,000 a month in income per month, right? So financial advice, you take it from people that actually make that type of money, right? In anything in life, any profession, you take it from someone that already has succeeded in that industry. So when you have those type of comments, tell them that, okay? There are free business templates and marketing all under the exploreriemann.com. Can you write that, Steve? I mean, I don't know which part you want to write, but that's already too much, right? They're not interested because they are concerned that there is no control over pricing on the online shopping platforms. Many people are selling at very low prices and they find it very difficult to sell when they're just starting with Remount. Yes, that could happen for sure, of course. Online, you have online sellers that are selling for cheaper, right? So someone tells me, hey, Steve, this person is selling this online for this much price. How can I compete with that person? Let me tell you something. Yes, that one person could be selling for a little bit cheaper than you, right? But let me tell you something. If you are marketing it to the people that you know, your friends, right? Your friends should be buying it through you. The people that you know should be buying through you at the end of the day, because why? It is your business. It's your business, right? It's something you're doing. If you're my friend and you're offering me something for $100, but online I could buy it for maybe $80, $20 cheaper, but I'm doing this to support you for your family, for your future. I'm paying the $100 and I'm not taking a discount because I'm your friend. I want to help you out. That's what a true friend is, right? So if somebody sells things online, let them know that, hey, online, at the end of the day, online, yeah, they can get 10% off, 20% off. But with us, hey, they can get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% off if they work with us as well. If they don't want to, then you tell them, look, we have different options. They can save money as well. We can give you discount as well. You join as a manager, senior manager, you get the same discount as well, the same pricing online as well. And if a customer is going to really complain about 10 to 20% difference online versus your price, then honestly, you move on. You don't need that person as a customer, right? You don't need that person, right? Or let them know, hey, this is what I do. Let them know why you're doing remodel. Hey, you know that I'm doing a side hustle right now. I have kids, I want to help my kids go to a better education, better schooling, better future. This is my side hustle, my side business. If you can support me, this would mean the world to me. Hey, next time you need a ride at the airport, I'll pick you up. Hey, next time you need a babysitter for your kids, I'll watch your babies, and have the type of conversation, right? And where the fact that the 10 to 20% doesn't even matter. It does not matter. People that are going to be stingent about 10 to 20%, trust me, you want to move on or have a real conversation with them, about, hey, if you can support me, great. If you want to support Amazon, you want to go support this online random website, go support them. Go support them, right? And you move on. If someone's not supporting me, I don't care. Let them buy it online. Because why? I have millions of people to talk to. I'm not worried about the few people that complain online. I'm not even looking for those type of people. I don't even want those type of people in my team. I don't even want those as my customer. I'm looking for people that want to support me, buy it, and don't care if they can find it 10 to 20% cheaper. I don't care about that as well, okay? Can you recommend Riemann products that will work, but not a lot of steps? Riemann products that works with not a lot of steps. I mean, cleansing, right? Cleansing, you can use calming gel, booster, and serum, right? Done. Hey, what if he or she is an owner of a different skincare brand, right? So yeah, there's people they're owners of a different skincare brand. And when someone already owns a brand, you let them know, hey, look, what is it going to take for you to diversify and have other skincare lines that you want to share, right? And as great as your product line is, think about what this will do when you add Riemann onto your product line as well. I'm sure many people already love your product line and you have a great product line. I super love your products as well. But let me give you just my personal advice. And I've seen others do this that also works as well. A lot of business owners, they have a product line, but they also sell other products. Why? Because when one product is intriguing for other people, they come in for the product, but they see your product and they want to buy yours too. So you're actually getting both sales in, right? So understand that having multiple product lines also increases revenue for your sale. There's nothing bad that can happen by having additional product lines. Okay. And that's why if you see Sephora doesn't just sell one product, they sell multiple products, right? Which of course brings in a lot of people and brings in a lot of sales, right? You want to think bigger and think global just by not having only one product line as well, right? Yeah, so obviously this training went pretty long, and I had a little bit more training to share with all of you, but we can continue this at another time as well. But you know, last thing, I'll just share with you guys one thing, okay? One thing before we end, okay? That I want everyone to kind of be very focused on. And one thing is called the power of immediacy, right? And what I mean by that is this. The most successful people are the ones who compress time, right? Winners don't wait until next week to invite or follow up. They act now. speed of implementation builds momentum. The faster you act, the faster you grow business. Remember, if you want to be a big leader with Remon, if you want to go out there and make big things happen, right? You can't wait for next week. You can't wait for next month. You cannot wait for next year. It has to happen right now, today, tomorrow, next 24 to 40 hours. You cannot wait. Every day and every hour is so precious in your business, in your life, that you don't have time to wait. Don't tell yourself next week, next month, I'm going to do this. You have to do this right now. You got to commit today, right? You got to get promoted to senior manager today. You got to get Costa Rica qualification done this month. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait for 2 months later. Don't wait for 3 months later. Have a goal for this month. Have a goal for this week or next week, because if your mindset is right now, not next week, you're gonna get closer to your goals every single time. When I had big goals, when I was like, I remember I was like 200,000 points away from a promotion. I think I was like 2 days left in the month. I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna still go over 200,000 SP in 2 days, right? That was my goal. I had a crazy goal. And I was like, what do I gotta do? It was like, I'm working on it. And I worked on it and I worked on it. I didn't get it done in 2 days. I couldn't do 200,000 SP in 2 days, but I got close to it. I think I did 100,000 in 2 days, right? So, you got to understand that you got to have this type of mindset. Your mindset needs to be immediate, immediate, immediate. Now, not tomorrow. Now, not tomorrow. You can't keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Today, today, today. You'll get promoted today. You'll make the phone calls today. You're going to get senior manager today. You're going to become team leader this month. No excuses. You're going to get it done no matter what. And that's the type of mindset you need to have. And once you implement this into your Remon business every single day, I'm telling you, your business will grow so much faster, so much faster. Always have this mindset, guys. And this is going to help you, of course, grow your Remon business as well. So I appreciate all of you guys for joining today. It was a long training, and